Hello and welcome to my November and December wrap-up. I didn't do a November wrap-up because I read so astronomically little that I didn't think it was worth making like a 2-minute video, so I decided I would just join the 2 months together when I did the December one. So that's what we're doing. I only read 2 books in November from what I remember, and I read 7 books in December. A lot of the books are manga because I wanted to complete my goal of 70 books. Let's begin. It's not in order, kind of, but not really. So in November, one of the books that I read was House Saphir by Marissa Meyer, which is one of my favorite authors, so I was really happy that I got this arc from NetGalley. Unfortunately, I didn't like it. This is a Bluebeard retelling of sorts. We follow a woman named Mallory and her sister. They are kind of con artists. Their mother was a witch of sorts, and they also had magic, but when they did something, we don't know what, because I'm not going to spoil, they lost, one of the sisters, Mallory, lost her powers, so she couldn't do what her mother did, so they started scamming people to be able to get money. One of the scams was being the tour guide to the House Saphir mansion in their town. The Saphir mansion is the place where the Count Saphir, I think was his name, he lived, and he killed his 3 wives. One day when she's doing a tour, the actual descendant of the Saphir bloodline asks for her help to exorcise his mansion, the other Saphir mansion, of the ghosts, and the actual Count's ghost from the house. And because she doesn't have magic, she decides she's going to scam this guy and pretend that she's doing something. So that is the plot of the book. It sounded fun. I really love retellings, so when it was a Bluebeard retelling, I thought that was really unique and new, so I got really excited. Unfortunately, not for me. I really liked the concept, as I said, but the romance was okay. I didn't really connect with any of the characters. I thought the plot was fun at first, but then because she speaks with ghosts, I just kept imagining her talking to thin air in the other people's eyes, and that just was ridiculous. So I couldn't really get into it. I gave it a 3, which isn't bad, but I didn't love it, which I thought I was going to because it's one of my favorite authors, but no. And the other book that I read in November is part of a series that I also continued in December. So I read the 6th volume of Komi Can't Communicate in November and the other 4 in December because I was trying to complete my goal, as I said. So Komi Can't Communicate by Tomohito Oda follows this girl Komi, and she has extreme social anxiety, and we follow her and her first friend Tadano trying to get her 100 friends and getting her to not be as scared to talk to people. And we also meet other people that become friends with her that have their own issues, and I think it's such a cute story, and I love Komi. She's one of my favorite anime characters, so I'm slowly getting through it, but I don't have the whole series yet. I still have a lot more volumes to get through that I own, so hopefully this year I'm gonna get through them and buy more and still love the series, because I gave all of these a 4 or a 4.5 because I love this series so much. So moving on to December, I read Gallant by V.E. Schwab. I did not love this once again. This follows a main character called Olivia, which is my name, and she is an orphan at this like orphanage slash school for girls, and she does not feel like she is at home, and she hates it there. One day she gets a letter from her uncle she didn't know she had, saying to come home to Gallant. When she gets there, she is greeted by the people who work there and her uncle's son, so her cousin, and her uncle is dead. So we follow Olivia and her cousin not really meshing with each other, and some weird stuff is going on with this house that we don't really understand because I'm not spoiling, and yeah, it's kind of a weird story. I don't know how to explain it. I gave this a 2.5. It was not my favorite. It kind of gives Coraline vibes, but not the vibes that I wanted, because I really love Coraline. The concept is cool, but I really did not like the ending, and I didn't understand the point of some things. It just wasn't for me. I thought it was in the middle. Not good, not bad, just there. Next, I read Empire of the Vampire by Kristoff. This is the first book in a massive series so far, because they're all big, not because there's a lot of books. About a half human, half vampire called Gabriel, and he is the last of his kind. He is, or was, a silver saint, which is a person who is half vampire, half human, who devotes their life to slaying vampires. We follow Gabriel being held hostage and telling his life story to a vampire. And it starts from when he was a young kid and when he finds out that he is half vampire until he becomes a silver saint and onwards. So it's kind of like a book within a book because the vampire is writing down kind of like a memoir of his life. Which sounds great, right? I was really excited for this. Unfortunately, not my favorite. What a end of the year, I must say. Unfortunately, I thought this was not for me. I really like Kristoff's writing, which is why I listened, because I could not read this, listen to the whole book, even though I kind of considered DNFing it a few times. I love Kristoff's writing. It is, to me, it's really good. So that's probably the only thing that I really enjoyed out of this. The plot is okay. The main character I don't really care about enough. There's some things that make no sense, which probably will be explained in further in the sequels. Words are very difficult today. But I just wanted to know in 700 pages what is going on, because 700 pages of minuscule tiny writing, and honestly nothing really happens to be worth 700 pages in my opinion. I feel like this is a prequel, if that makes sense, to the actual story. This like gets you situated about what the characters are, how we got here, what we're doing, which I don't like. Just give me a prequel then. Don't say this is the first book if it's a prequel energy. It feels like a prequel to me. I don't like this type of book that is kind of epic fantasy-y, I think. Hopefully I'm correct because I'm not sure. I wish I did like it because I really wanted to like it, but unfortunately I did not, and I think Nevernight is way better than this. And the final book of 2025 that I read was Keeper of the Lost Cities by Shannon Messenger. This is a middle grade series that follows Sophie. She is a girl who can hear people's thoughts, and she lives in the human world. And one day she's approached by Fitz, and he tells her that she's actually an elf and she needs to come with him because she's not meant to be in the human world. So she does, and she goes to this special school called Foxfire, and she learns how to do her elfy things because she is a telepath, because she hears people's thoughts. Can I speak? I wasn't expecting to really like this. I bought the whole series because it is really highly rated, and it is said to be Harry Potter but a female main character, which I kind of agree with. It is different, but it has the same vibes. Yeah, I think I gave this a 3.5 or 3, I don't fully remember, even though I finished it like a few days ago, but whatever. I liked it. It was enjoyable. It is very readable. I like the main character. She's really smart for a 12-year-old. The thing that really pisses me off in middle grade and in this book is when the adults don't tell the children shit, especially when the child is very important. Percy Jackson does that. Harry Potter does that. What other book does that? This does that. Moral of the story. I don't like that. It pisses me off. I don't understand the logic, especially when she is like the most impressive person in the elf lands to ever exist in years because of her powers. Why wouldn't you tell her what's going on? I fully don't understand at all, but whatever. And also, a grown-ass man having a prejudice against a child also doesn't make any sense to me, especially when he's like 1,000 years old. Will never make sense to me. I understand this is a kid's book and I'm being very critical, but it pissed me off. Nonetheless, I did like it. I am willing to read the next book in the series, which is called Exile, I think. If I don't care for it, I will not continue. If I think it's okay, maybe I will continue because they are very readable because it's for kids. So those are all the books that I read in November and December. Not too stunningly amazing, even though I did read this massive book that took me 2 months to read, but it is what it is. I finished my goal by reading manga, but that's okay. I finished my goal. That was 70 books. Yeah, I did it. I didn't have the greatest time. I only liked the manga. So, not amazing, but it is what it is. Hopefully 2026 goes a little bit better than last year. I'm still gonna make my goal 70, but I would like to get a bit more than that. I don't know. We'll see how stressful my year goes, because last year was very stressful and I didn't have a lot of time. So 70 books was great. That's besides the point. That is everything for today, and I'll see you in my next weird video. Bye!